No, this video is not clickbait. This really is about why I gave away a $200 helmet to a random kid at a farmer's market. Now, I just wanted to address the elephant in the room. I am very sick, which is why I'm doing this story type of video, because honestly, I wanted a really low maintenance, low editing video that I could do for you guys so I could get it all out there and still stay committed to getting you new videos every Thursday. So I do understand that this might not be your cup of tea. You might not want to hear me just tell a story about my experience with 3D printing at farmers markets, and that's okay. Please still give it a like though, because it helps the channel out. So as you guys know, as we've talked about on the channel, I do 3D printing as a part full-time gig, I guess we'll call it. We say that because I lost my job of 3.5 years back in December, and I have gotten a small part-time gig that helps me keep the lights on and keeps this hobby going and this business going while I do these other markets and shows for 3D printing. I try to stay as busy as possible, but also, fun life update, my wife is pregnant and we're due in June. So we are not nearly as busy as we used to be last year with the markets because I want to be able to stay more available for those kinds of things. And the reason I really wanted to tell this story in particular is because I want to show you guys why it's important to create a brand that's yourself, not just your products, when you're going to these markets and shows. Because we all know that 3D printing has a really bad rep. I can't tell you how many times I come across a video every single day of somebody talking about an anime convention or a Comic-Con convention or a farmer's market convention or anything in between where their first complaint is, I can't believe how much 3D printed slop there is. Now, I've never really taken personal offense to this because I know they're not talking about things like these masks. They're not talking about the things that I hand paint and things like that, but they are talking about some of this more simple dice towers that even I have, or they're talking about some of the dragons that I have. But that's why it's important to kind of build your brand, not only outside of the things that you're making, but who you are as a person. And that leads me to the story that I wanted to tell you guys today about how and why I gave away a particular helmet that I had priced for $200 to a random kid. So a little bit of context. I grew up pretty poor. We didn't have heat in our home. We didn't have air conditioning. There were days we didn't eat food. I mean, I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but we were poor. And because of that, things that didn't make sense to a lot of people were the fact that me and my brothers grew really attached to things, toys, entertainment systems, television shows. It was a way to kind of distract us and pull us away from the environment that we were in. Not that it was like bad. There weren't bugs or anything like that around. It was just we were hungry sometimes and we were cold sometimes. And my parents did their absolute best. And that's why I'm who I am today, because they were amazing parents who helped us just be happy and love the fact that we were one family. And so because of that, I have developed, I guess we'll call it a skill, to be able to look at people and understand when they're maybe going through a hard situation. I can kind of look at a situation and say, hey, they might not have a lot going on right now, either between the things that they're wearing on their feet or their actual clothes. And they come up to my booth and they only have $1 or $2 and it's crumbled up. And, you know, honestly, that gets me in the feels, right in the feels. And so a lot of times I am the kind of person who they're going to come up and they're going to say they want this $20 dragon. They're this little kid who's worked really hard and they sold lemonade down the street and they have $5. And I say, you know what? Take it, kid. Give me the $5. Take it. Or sometimes I don't even take the $5 and I just tell them to take it because I know what that probably means to that kid who is struggling. So now we get to this kid. He comes up and he just sees the display of helmets that I have, and he sees this Miles Morales helmet. Now, this Miles Morales helmet that I had done was particularly special because I didn't only just print it and paint it, but I used 3 different paints that were pretty expensive because I really wanted the red to kind of glisten and highlight and pop out. And it was this special candy glitter red that was able to go over all of the lines to pull that out. I was also able to use this really nice matte black that was actually built for Range Rovers because I really liked the way that looked. And then the whole thing was coated in a 2K clear coat. Now, because of that, I had looked at the labor and the time that I put into it, made sure I had measured everything correctly, and I figured I was going to price it for about $200. Now, my prices are almost always negotiable. There's very rarely times where I say this is the price, this is what we're sticking with, and honestly, it's usually just because it's a helmet that I don't want to sell because I really love it, and then people end up buying it anyways. Shout out to my NCR Ranger helmet that I made from Fallout. I said $250 because I wanted to keep it, and somebody bought it.
Okay. Okay.
But anyways, that's a whole other. This kid saw this and he really wanted it. And he asked me how much it was. And I, let him know, hey, that's one of the $200 helmets. And his mom was just like, well, we'll think about it. But that's when I noticed it. That's when I noticed his mom had really worn down shoes, and not worn down in the sense that she was adventurous and she did a lot of hiking, worn down the way that my shoes used to be worn down, the way my brother's shoes used to be worn down. And then I noticed his shoes were worn down the same way that our shoes were worn down. And then I noticed that they were both on bikes, and she had rigged up her bike with a bunch of homemade DIY racks and handles and things like that. And they were carrying groceries from Walmart. But the closest Walmart to that particular venue was more than a half hour on a bike. And she had some other things from gas stations, and they were going to the farmer's market because there was a particular booth there that sold ugly vegetables. They had the vegetables that they just didn't like to sell to people because they were either weird shaped or they had bug holes in them or all this other stuff like that, but you could get a crate of them for like $2. And so they were going there particularly to go get that vegetable person because they could get that whole box for $2. And I watched them go down. They looked at everything. They were getting samples where they could. And then they go to that booth, they get the vegetables, and I watch her miraculously load this onto her bike. And she's doing everything she can to avoid putting anything on his bike, which was another sign that was something like my mother would have done. She would have not made it harder for me to be there, and she went ahead and put them all on there. She got it all secure. She double bagged everything. In fact, she might have triple bagged everything. And they come back through, and he goes, "Mom, do you think we can look at that again?" And the look in her eyes and the look on her face of just complete honest devastation of, I don't think we can do that right now. We'll have to come back later. And then she asked me, are you going to be here next year? This was the beginning of this market season at this particular market. Next year, not only was an actual year away, but it was just, I knew the question was just to try to give him a little bit of hope. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I'll be here. Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably have one of these because they're really popular. And his face just defeated, but accepting it. He didn't fight back like some of these other kids that just like completely lose their minds when their parents don't get them anything. He just said, okay, I can't wait to see you next year. And right as soon as he started walking away, I stopped. And I said, hey, bud, I actually could use your help with something. And my wife looked at me because she knew exactly what was happening. And she was a little confused. I said, I just need your help really fast. I need to move this box from here to over here so I can put some new stuff out. Can you help me? And he looked back at his mom and she said, yes, go help him. And he was a little confused, but reluctant. He came and helped me. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this box was empty. There was nothing in this box. It was a black tote that had nothing in it. And I picked it up and he picked up the other side and we moved it to the other side. I said, hey, thanks, man. I consider you an employee and I don't want to leave my employees unpaid. So I want you to pick out any helmet on that rack and you can have that as payment for helping me. And his mom instantly broke down. She started crying. She just couldn't believe it. And she just came up and she said, are you sure? Are you absolutely positive? And I said, yes, absolutely. This kid, he helped me. I want to pay him for his help. I think that's the only appropriate thing to do. Really trying to reflect it back to this is bigger than both of us kind of thing. And I let him pick it and he grabbed the Miles Morales helmet and he said, are you sure? I said, yes, I am 100% sure. I appreciate your help with that. Go ahead and take it. So we bagged it up really nice for him. We actually made a little backpack for him so he could put it on to be able to keep it there. Because you can see through the helmet, but like not good enough that he should be on a bike and going. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've never seen him again. I've never seen him again at that farmer's market. I've never seen him since then. And I don't care. I don't need to. But it also kind of lets me know that I don't know where they lived. Again, that Walmart that they had groceries from was a half hour away by bike at best, and everything else on the way. I don't know where they actually were living. I know that they came to that farmer's market for that particular booth. But I haven't ever seen them again. And the point of the story isn't to tell you guys to give away $200 helmets every chance you get, but that's part of the brand that I wanted to build. I wanted to build something that people could love, and I wanted to give people items that love, because here's the deal. Here's the honest, truthful deal. That $200 helmet was based off of what I was paying myself, based off of materials and time. But realistically, if I wasn't paying myself, it was probably, maybe at best, $35 of materials. Between the amount of paint that I use going into that, between the plastic that it took to 3D print it, the electricity, all of those fancy numbers, maybe I'll give it $45. We'll even say $50. Okay. And the thing is the fact that I know that gave that kid hope and joy for however long it's going to was worth more than the money that I was going to make off of that. And that's where, being a business, you have to evaluate everything as best as you can. You obviously can't give things away 24/7. That doesn't work. It won't work. Again, I'm not saying give things away all the time. But I am saying pay attention to your customers when they come to you. Talk to them, get to know them, understand who they are, and evaluate it from there. Make somebody's day if you have to. Even if it's just throwing in an extra goodie, just saying, hey, thanks for buying all this. Hey, here you go. Or something that I also really love doing is if I have people who come back within the same day, they're like, oh, I want to buy this now. Hey, you know what? We'll take $2 off. You already bought more stuff. Really? And then they'll come back again. Hey, you know what? We'll give you another $4 off that next one because you come back again. And they get so excited. But then you grow this repertoire, and you grow this business that people want to come and experience you, not just your product, but you. So guys, again, I'm really sorry I'm sick and I don't sound good. I'm sweating. I actually can't see anything. My vision is completely blurry. So I'm really sorry. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please hit the bell icon. I'm going to try my best to put out videos every Thursday, even if I'm sick. And again, I'm really sorry. Not next week. Yeah, I think next week's going to be a little difficult. I'm going to be at WonderCon next week, but we're still going to get a video out to you guys on Thursday. Anyways, love you so much for all of your support. As always, I'm basically Bensky. Mistakes make magic and progress over perfection, baby.